Hello, I think the stream is set up. Hello, I think the stream is set up. Okay, I think it should work. Tell me if you guys can hear me, if anyone is watching. Okay, I think it should work. Tell me if you guys can hear me. This works. Hello, tell me if you guys can hear me in the chat. If you can, we'll, commence the Q&A, if you understand what I mean. Okay, so today we are going to do a Q&A and then redraw the really old sprites that the game used to have back in its first stage. I'm just going to be kind of drawing some weird shapes and just trying to answer all your questions. So, if you have questions on the game, keep sure to ask them. Q&As today, I'll be answering as many questions as I physically and possibly can. So, ask away. Favorite animal currently in the game? Honestly, either the big fin squid himself with his wonky shaped head and his huge thing like that kind of waves. Either him or, that's a hard one, the I don't know. There's a lot to choose from. I think it's the big fin squid or the binocular fish, actually, because it has these huge eyes that are always perpetually staring forward. That little cute, like, duck beak looking thing it has. Then he has his second eye. That's good to cut that a little smaller. Yeah, this guy. He has like his. He looks like a weird bird. It's a really funny looking fish, and I really like him. But yeah, binocular fish or big fin squid? Probably binocular fish. I don't know. The game's being released, I would think. If I had to guess, I can't really predict these things. It'll come out when it's ready. That's all I can really say. 2023, 24, I don't know, just few years. It's gonna be a long time. I will not be doing a face reveal. It's not gonna be this big hyped up moment for a huge face reveal. If it's gonna be a face reveal, it's just gonna be me with the devs talking in a stream at some point, doing like a video call or something. I doubt that it's gonna be this big hyped up moment where NiteLite reveals what he looks like. But yeah, I think I will eventually reveal what I look like for that question. Any more questions? For now, I want to answer as many as I possibly can, because the first half of the stream is just going to be this. Second half is going to be the thing. Okay, how long will the game be if you play it? Okay, so here's the plan of how the game's going to go down. So you're in your sub, you're in the game. There will be no game over screen to save time on the playthroughs, to get you constantly going into the action. If I had to guess, I'd say, if you wanted to, like, what do you mean? Do you mean just a normal playthrough, just beating the game normally, or do you mean, like, getting a 100% on the game? Like, to get 100%? Let me think. If we were to get 100%, you'd have to find all 250 fish, plus the extra 5 that are in turmoil mode. So I'd actually say like a couple of weeks to get everything, because there's so many different chances. But I'd say a day or two if you just want to blast through the game. And that's if you did, so 48 hours I'd say is how long the game would take you to beat, if you got as much as you could. Now if you got everything, that's a couple of weeks I'd say, because there's just so many it's like a big game of chance when it comes to running into some fish. So if you want a 100%, it's going to take longer. Not weeks straight, but if you're just playing it normally, it's going to take a few weeks. But yeah, just know that it's going to be very, very long, because there's lots of different things you're going to have to do. If you just want to go through the game without seeing anything, you could probably do it in a day, 7 hours, 8 hours, something like that. But if you go through personally looking for things, which is how I want people to play the game, just exploring and learning and all that stuff, it's going to take you a couple days, maybe even a week. So Easter eggs, all that, yeah, I'd say a very, very long time. If I could sum up the game in a few words, what would I say? I think I'd call it an educational simulation of the deep sea. More leaning to be real life, with all the different variables and like a simulation of the real-life deep sea, because many people love the deep sea and want to go there, or just want to explore it in general, but they can't because of limitations in their lifetime. So this is kind of a way for you to be able to explore it without having to spend thousands of dollars and dedicate your life to it. For 100 subs, I will, I'm thinking of, for 100 subs, doing a game again. I'll let you guys choose what game you want me to play, and I'll most likely play the current demo of NiteLite that's out and release a few beta keys as well. So, at 100 subs, there's going to be a big thing where you guys can see how NiteLite looks so far. And its full playability. So, that's what's going to happen with 100 subs. Okay, so that's all questions caught up now. So, if you have any other questions, keep sure to ask them. We have a lot of time on our hands, so even if you have a really ridiculous question, don't be afraid to ask it. Because there are lots of things. Aquariums. Okay, so aquariums, I don't really care that much for. I mean, it's just enslaved fish. That really ain't up my alley. It is cool to see them in their enclosures, though. It's closest many people get to fish, so if it's fully educational and it's fish that can't live by them normally, that's fine. I really like that. The game will be $20 and it will be bought on Steam. I think that's about how much it's going to be. The game might decrease in cost or increase. I'll put it on sale a lot. And you can get the game free, but you'll need to snag a beta key, which you can win from the current art competition. So if you want to get the game for free, the art competition might be a good way to do that. I had to extend it because nobody seems to want to go in for it. I mean, I thought... Oh, birds, yes. I have my sliding glass door open so that you guys can hear them as well. It's just kind of a good background. Okay, the almanac. You just brought up a whole heap of things I need to talk about. So, almanac, have you heard the news about where the almanac is in the game right now? He's a very unique case. I'll explain more about that in a second. And tastiest deep sea fish. Orange Ruffy, I think. At least I've heard. I personally would imagine the big fin squid to be pretty good because I love squid and octopus. And one of those that's pretty big, I think would be a pretty tasty meal. Plus all the salt that's down there and how cold it is, it'd be a very different meal than normal squid, so I don't know. Orange Ruffy. It's like it's like this orange fish, and it lives deep in the sea, and it lives up to like 250 years old or 150. I don't remember. They're just really, really, really old fish, and they used to be called like slime fish or something, and nobody wanted to eat them because they had such a disgusting name. So to make them more appetizing, they changed their name to the Orange Ruffy. Big fin squid or almanac. Like you said before, almanac, I do not like that much anymore. He was from an old time in the game. He's like a symbol, he symbolizes the community in my mind in the way that he's a fragment of what it used to be. Oh, thank you for stopping by, Caden. JG. The ugliest fish. Okay, I know many people are going to expect blobfish. No. The blobfish is not that ugly down there. Now, there's a lot of really, really ugly fish. Some people may argue that the goblin shark is really ugly. I don't think it's that ugly. If there are any fish down there that make me repulse, well, fish aren't even that much deep sea, actually. So, they're like Yeah, out of ugliest fish in the entire ocean, there's a lot of options to go by. It all depends on personal preference. For me, there's some really, really ugly sharks down there. Like pocket... Yeah, hagfish are really, really, really disgusting. But I don't think they're number one on the list. Let me think. There's a lot of yucky ones that... I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm gonna have to, like... Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. All depends on what you find disgusting. The most misunderstood? So, the most misunderstood fish... There's a lot of really misunderstood ones, like the, big fin is one of those. It always goes back to him. There's a lot of stuff wrong with the big fin. Many people dislike the big fin because... Sharks are up there. Big fin's just spooky, but not many people know about him, so he's definitely not the... There's lots of different types of sharks. Great whites are up there with some of the most misunderstood. But I think there are probably ones that are more. Because back in like the 40s, the 20s, whatever it was, before Jaws released, shark attacks used to be called shark accidents. After the movie came up, it was the shark attack was coined because they used marketing tactics of like going in radios and talking about shark attacks that never happened but made them up to promote the new movie. Do fish sleep? Yes. Depends on the fish. Some sleep, some don't. Some fish sleep moving. Some fish will usually just go near the bottom and just sleep, but that leaves them open to predators. Okay, game production, 1 year out. We have completely figured out what the game is. We figured out all the nooks and crannies of it. We have, reef sharks are also. So, stage and production, we have some betas out with the devs. We're working on stuff. We're creating art. We're getting people ready with the server and all that. Basically, the first year was deciding what the game was going to be. It was the identity of the game and creating small test demos. So this year is going to be creating tons of playable demos for people and getting people's opinions on the game before going in and refining stuff. So that's that. Do I do the art for the game? Lots of it, but not all of it. Boris, or Bor Med, who's in the server, works on a lot of the sprites for the game, so check him out if you haven't. Am I planning on making a game after this? Maybe. Depends on how quick I get this one done. If I'm gonna make another game, it's going to be no sequels. Sequels, it's better to create original new content. It would most likely be a, let me think. I've had ideas. One of them was a game where you played as... It's like a story game, not a simulation game, and it was going to be about demons who escaped purgatory. I'm an atheist, so I don't really know much, but basically the demons escape the purgatory, and they don't know who they are, but they know that they've done something awful in life. And the whole thing is the player decides to play... You can either play the game two ways. Either embracing the fact that you know you are evil and using that to your advantage, or trying to create a new life for yourself, even knowing that you've done some atrocious acts before. So it's a very psychological game. That's my second idea. If we do ever create a sequel to anything, which I'm almost 100% sure we won't, it's not going to be a NiteLite sequel. There's nothing to expand in a game that's literally a simulation of the deep ocean. Switchport? Jeez. I'm not thinking this far ahead. I don't know if the game's going to come to anything else but PC. I was thinking of maybe bringing a phone port, and if the game is liked a lot, I'm going to make it... I'm going to port it to some consoles. Favorite game? Terraria or Subnautica. Or Minecraft. One of those three. I very much like open world games where you don't have a set of rules you need to follow. Those always bore me. I like figuring out things I can and can't do and expanding the rules. I'm not sponsored. Nope. Yes, I have played Subnautica Below Zero. I'm following its development. If drastic discoveries are made, will you update it? Exactly the question I wanted to hear. Yes. The game will be getting streams of updates. I will be actually updating the game with new fish as they are discovered. Ones that are of notable size. Yeah. So yeah, there we are. Representative of Raid Shadow Legends. If those people contacted me, I'm not sure what I would say. Because I've heard they can give thousands, and that would help the game so much. But at the same time, I'm basically selling out my viewers for accepting a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. Because that game is awful. But at the same time, the money. Money talks. What do you guys think? If I were to get a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship ever, not happening anytime soon, what would you do if you were to get it? That's a better question. If you were to, you're offered like $1,500 or $15,000 to talk about something you know is bad and trick your viewers into getting it, would you do it? How many Rick and Morty characters can you add before it gets copyright stricken? No, this NiteLite's now just a Rick and Morty fan game. We have all the characters. I think if you add one of them, you're out. Those people are like sharks. They'll take you down. So yeah, sponsors, it all depends. Is it something... I only do sponsors if it's something I think is actually decent. If it's something good that I think people should have. Raid Shadow Legends not happening. The first wave of DLCs. Yep, before the game's even out, I'm gonna release all 40 trailers for each DLC. So, just wait. They'll be out one day. The Fighter Pass. All 5. That's the first wave. Yeah, I've played Below Zero. The Terminator DLC. No, I'm sorry, but Big Weld from the movie Robots will be appearing as a DLC fighter. That's the first official canon character. Hope that doesn't disappoint. So, are there any other questions? Okay. Okay, the monetization from this game towards another game or equipment. Okay, here's what my plan is. I'll probably use the rest, some of the money I get from the game, or donations or anything, to, like, buy some more, get some people to help me improve music or things in the game that might not be perfect. But I think I'm going to try to smooth out everything I physically can before the release. I'm also going to I don't think I'll use money to make another game because I doubt I'm even going to make another. This might be Big Fin Studios' first and last release. But if we do end up making another, it'll probably go towards that. But most of the money I'm probably just going to use to living out my life and trying to improve the game in any way I can. Because I know I'm not going to make it to being a marine biologist. I don't want to dedicate my life to it, but I love the deep sea so much, so that's kind of my way of doing it. So that's where the money's going to go. It's going to go towards improving the game and improving my life with the little extra bits. Probably so I can make more games. Any other questions? Because, ask away, literally. This could go on for 2 hours and that'd be fine. Just, eventually, when nobody has any more questions, we're going to start doing the art. But, really, that doesn't really matter right now. Right now, it's about any questions. This is the only time you're going to be able to ask it. Which question did you ask? I do not watch any anime. I know people who do, my little brother does, but I personally don't. I might one day, but I truly don't know. 1 second. Okay, so you shouldn't hear any birds now. Toys to Life, yes. We'll be having a sponsorship with like a we'll be having a trade deal with Skylanders and Disney Infinity, and you'll be able to play as the Almanac. 100% gonna happen. Okay, so are there any more questions on the game? Ask away, because when we're done, we're gonna move to the recreating the old art. So yeah, it seems to just be joke questions now, so I might move to the thing. Let me quickly check. Okay, let's show package contents. I'm trying to pull the files. Merch, probably not going to happen until the game release. I might release a poster to raise money at some point. The family Christmas party. Wow. But, everybody's going to be like, oh, what's NiteLite? But yeah, I might release a poster. Some people did make some really nice looking stuff. Let me open the game was originally made on Game Maker, but you know how that is. That's pretty yucky. So I moved it to Unity to improve it, because Game Maker's awful. At least from my experience, people might know how to use it, and I'm just dumb, but I didn't know how to use it. Nope, I do not have a Patreon, just because, this game is more of a passion project, and I don't want people to invest in the game just for something to go wrong. I don't want to have an issue and maybe not be able to work on the game for a few months or give people updates, and then people will be like, dude, I paid for this. Where's the stuff you promised? Yeah, I don't want that to happen. Yeah, no Kickstarter because of that same reason. Opinion on Unity. Yes, it will be on Steam. $20 on Steam. Unity 5, I don't know a lot of the Unity versions. If anybody can, catch me up on what Unity 5 did. If it's just improvements, I should be fine with it. But if there's like a big controversial thing that Unity 5 did, then I'd like to know. Right now I'm trying to dig through and find the art files, because they're all like really bad pixel art I did just as a test. So it's going to be fun to look at it. Okay, we did it. I opened it. Now let's drag in anything. To promote the game, most likely not actually. I want people to tell their friends about the game if they liked it, or if they liked the idea. I really dislike people who just... I just hate people who constantly self-promote and promote channels, and just... If people are interested in the game, they can join. I don't want people to feel forced to do it. I don't want people sending out invites to random people. I want friends to talk to other friends about it. So, to promoting the game, it's just going to really be word. Okay, experience in game making, I'm completely self-taught. I've been teaching myself since the beginning. I just really wanted to try out game making one day and began testing around and figured out a lot of stuff in Unity. The switch from Unity to Unity was difficult, but I'm learning it more now, and we actually, with the playable versions and all that, it's way easier than I first thought it was going to be. Writing stages of your own game. Yeah, okay, what type of game are you trying to make? An action game? What? Because that really decides how your game's going to go and how you should write it. Because try to not make up a story randomly. Tie your story into the gameplay. If you have an idea of what the gameplay is, tie that in with the story. You don't want them to feel like two separate entities. You want it to feel like when somebody says NiteLite, for example, they think of both the gameplay and the story, even though my game doesn't have story. Visual novel. Okay. Yeah. So, what story are you trying to tell? What ideas? Because if I don't have any idea of what you're trying to do, you literally could go anything from ape battle story to how to put together an anchor. There's so many options if we don't know what we're doing. Hardest part of development so far was the art style, figuring out what we were going. Right now I'm actually opening the folder. Okay, we're going to do the Anglerfish first. Let's drag that in. Don't save. Oh, look at that. Let's zoom in. This is the original Anglerfish. It's so blurry and small. But here he is in all his glory. Now we're going to create another one above that. Okay, so we're not going to draw on this. I'm just letting you see. This is what they used to look like as tests when I used them in the game. Really dumb, but that was just so they could be placeholders. The ones that we're using aren't even pixel art anymore. We just quickly drew a pixel art. And what I'm going to do right now is we're going to actually redraw all of these really old development test sprites in upgrade their style and all that. So I thought that would be interesting to try. What got me into the deep ocean? So the deep sea, the ocean itself, has always interested me. When I was like 4 or 3, the first thing I saw of the deep ocean was in Blue Planet 1. And that really changed my outlook on the deep sea, and I never really thought there was anything down there when I was little. I just thought it was you know, I didn't think there was that much important down there. I thought it was just kind of a void of sorts when I was little, and now that we actually know it's down there and all that, I grew to love its strange and weird and wacky world, the way that everything's different and everything's adapted to survive by hunting, but it's all so unique in the way they do it, all specialized for one thing, all but in different ways. No, I do not want a career that has something to do with game development. This is just a pastime of sorts, something I've always wanted to do. Let people see my love of the ocean in some way, and that's what this is. Release of the game. Oh, I'm definitely going to be looking back on all the art I did. I'm going to take the art and put it in a large slideshow for release so everybody can see the evolution of the sprites. And how did I meet Neon? Oh, Neon actually messaged me, I think, on the server one time. He joined. I said hello, but he said he was interested in the project. I guess he got here from a server I was in. I used to promote, but not a lot. I don't do it anymore, though. And he said he was interested, and he said he could do some work for the game, some music. And we already had Anders on the team, which was the first person who joined, I believe. And he helped out. And we had this all set up, and it was quite nice. And he's just a really nice dude, and yeah. Neon's great. He's been really helping with the project. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't really have music, which is a way. Yeah, I don't like people who self-promote. I used to, though. A while. I used to self-promote at the beginning of it, but then I realized how annoying it was when people did it to me. So I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this because it annoys me. Marty does not last long. Okay, I know your line about Jacksepticeye doing voice lines is a joke, but in all seriousness, I hate it. A game that I bought and when it was in the earliest development, Bendy and the Ink Machine, back when it was just an idea on Game Jolt. I was interested. I liked the development. Then they butchered it like a pig. Update comes out, and they're just adding YouTuber voice lines. It's all YouTuber bait to get money, views, and to make the game get popular. And it lost any soul that it had. And that infuriates me. So that is the one thing I got from that. I'm going to be able to tell you, no YouTubers, no voice lines. I hate YouTuber bait. You lose any soul you had in your quest for money. I hope you guys can agree with me, because I hate that type of stuff. And it annoys the hell out of me. There we are. Okay, if I want to do this, I'm actually going to make my mouth come out like that. Alright, this is such a weird sprite. I like it remaking it, though. Definitely want to exaggerate everything I did originally. Try to make it more unique. And then the teeth. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, it's just teeth. Let's create a gum. Oh, look at that face. Only a mother could love. And then, no, I think that's supposed to be an ear. Fish don't have ears, like, that big, but okay. And then its eye. Let's create it like that, and then... There he is. Well, let's give his little bulb. Let's create this. It's a little fleshy. Yes I do. Beth Foster, you are, fishing overlord. That's what you are. And make it a still PNG of a fish and make... Yeah, I should do that and make the trailer, like, make it look like something big, and then when people pay for it, it's nothing. I've tricked them. That's how you make a game. Okay, let's give it like a red eye. How do I make a, how many anglerfish does it take to make a light bulb? Well, also, what I dislike the fact that this is so cartoony back then. As you can see, like, the light itself... Oh, no thank you. Oh, no thank you. Guess we're just gonna have to draw this in. I didn't add lines around it. But yeah, it's so cartoony, it's like an actual light bulb in this. It's not blue or like a fluorescent... It's like a fluorescent light. It's not bioluminescent like the actual fish. And back then, I was just going through art designs and ideas, and we had no idea of what the game was. Speaking of which, let's get that paint. Okay, let's go back in. Yeah, these old sprites are funky. Or I'm just gonna try out a ton of them. This is not the game style, by the way. This isn't. I'm just doing this for fun. Trying to see how dumb I can make them look. Yes, he is crying. That was supposed to be his ear, but I put it too close, but... You know what? Let's get rid of this. Okay, so... Down here is where it should be like at the... The mouth actually went a lot farther back. But I'm okay with changing it a bit. So yeah, there we are. I do not know why people don't want to participate in the competition. I think it's just people don't want to lose, or people are not interested. That's just what I think. What? It was like a gray in the actual original. Oh, we need to close off here. Is that it? I think we can dump it now. Yeah. As you can see here, here's the original, and here's the... Oh, yeah, forgot one thing. Here's the original, and here's just a quick recreation. As you can see, it's a lot more cartoony than what we have now. The ones we have now are way, way better. Way better than this. This is just a quick cartoon sketch. That was actually meant to be semi-realistic. So as you can see, development on the game has changed so much since back then. We've improved a lot. Okay, next on the list of things is let's clear this. Where's new? Don't save. Okay, let's open the file again. There were a lot of really bad ones back then. Sprite 88. Let's see what that is. Some of them are just numbers. Oh, these look so goofy. Some of them are actually kind of embarrassing to show. Just because of how strange they are. So, let's draw this guy in. It's going to be our next one we do. So, let's begin. That is a deep-sea lizardfish back then. Let's get a pink. Don't know why I chose pink and purple. Discord server invite. I can get one now, actually. I'm willing to give it to people who want it, but I'm not going to self-promote. Here you go. If you want to join, that's how you're going to do it. Okay. So, let's make it a more narrow snout. Okay, let's do the sail last. So it has a bit of a bump. It's way too steep of a bump. It's like a... Okay, let's continue to extend this. Too steep. It's kind of smiling. There we are. Kind of bulky body. We got to turn this. We got to turn the smile upside down. And then we created. The invite says it's invalid. 1 second. Okay, there we are. I can try to get another invite, but I might not be able to. Let me see if I can just get... Okay, let's go to server. If this doesn't work, I don't know what to tell you. There you go. doesn't seem to be any different, but that's the one we used. If it's not working, I'll make another invite. Okay. If that doesn't work, here's a new... See, it's always the same one. I don't know. Yeah, let's continue. Let's go to a purple. It's very angular, this one. It's kind of weird. There we are. Now it has these gills, which are very bright. There we are. Okay, favorite trait of deep sea. Okay, one of my favorite creatures down there is the grid-eye fish. Now, it has no eyes, but rather steep holes, kind of. Also, I'll link my Discord in a second. And basically, there it is. So basically, it can like sense things electromagnetically in the water, and it's just a really cool thing that this fish can do. I don't think it's my favorite. I think my favorite is bioluminescence, just because of how beautiful it is and just how unique it is. It's one of the most well-known, so I feel bad saying it's my favorite, but it really is. There is a reason it's so well-known. Not just because there's not much that is like it. Favorite land animal? Oh, that's a difficult one. Oh, I need to think. I know a lot of land animals, but I don't really have a favorite. Maybe, it's the moon rat. Moon rats are these, like, they smell like rotting onions, and they don't have much special about them. They like, have a pig nose. That's pretty much it, but I just like how strange they are. That's what makes them my favorite. What game should you play? Terraria. That's what you should play. Huge new update. Support the devs however you can. Those guys deserve it. 10 years in the making. Here he is. Now things go weird blue-pink color, so like that is the inside. And more white, more like that. Yeah, right there. And then it had a stripe of that running down its back. I'll be answering Q&A during this as well, so don't be afraid to ask. Favorite Animal Crossing animal? Ooh, I don't know. I actually kind of like the, I forget what it is. I think it's the elephant. I always liked elephants. Yeah, there's a recreation of the old sprite in its simplistic glory. See ya, a dogster. Favorite color? Deep, dark green. It's very, you know, reminiscent of the very deep, dark parts of the ocean. We use this and just, like, see what I mean? I'll show you a good example of what I mean. Like that. That smog. Really has that, like, eerie ocean feel. And it also reminds me of my favorite thing in gaming, which is the SpongeBob movie game for the PC. There's a level that has this green, eerie smog around it, and just really appealing to me. The tone and feel of it. Keep sure to ask about anything. What is hard mode? What happens if you collect every fish? How many items are there? How do you get items? Well, you have to kill fish. Or how do you damage fish? Does your player have a name? There's so many questions. So remember that there are many ways that you can. There are many questions to be asked. So we're not going to save that, and we're going to pull up the next one. So let's go back in the files, and we can do the, I'm going to do what was actually supposed to be a boss. It was called the Deep Sea Demon, and I made it up completely back when the game used to actually have bosses. Here he is. It's really dumb looking. Yeah, that little eye. But I'm going to try to recreate this dude. Okay, how do you sneak up to a fish in the submarine? Great question. You're going to have to, you're going to have to use stealth upgrades from tagging fish. And these stealth upgrades, a great example is the, not the binocular fish, the, stoplight loose jaw, because it uses red light for its bioluminescence, and fish can't see red light, at least a lot of them. Stoplight loose jaws can see red light. So it's a one-way headlight where it can sneak up on fish and look. So an upgrade for your sub would be to get red lights, so you can sneak up to certain fish without them noticing you. There are other ways, like the hatchet fish gives a stealth upgrade, but you need to tag more fish in order to upgrade it to be even more difficult to see. Okay, how do you tag fish? Tags will be, you can use one every, like 5 seconds, and whenever 5 seconds I'd say, and then every time you use one, it'll shoot out at an angle. And if you manage to tag a fish, it might or may not work. It depends on how long it sticks. If it stays, you've done it. Like throwing a Pokeball to catch something. You're not sure if it's going to do it or not. So if you do manage to get it, then you've done that. It's really a game of chance. The more difficult a fish is to get, the harder it's going to be to tag. So if you run into a sperm whale, there's a high likelihood that you won't be able to tag it without some upgraded tags and some luck. So that's how tagging works. Okay, so let's get this. This is a very weird fish that I made up. It has a very strange angled small eye of a gulper eel. If I were to create it today, I would. It has a big mouth. Wobbly mouth. Wobbly. Wrong. We'll have to fix that. Oh, they have a very high resistance. Their bodies are being compressed to a certain... Basically, if you have no swim bladder, you're more likely to survive. So a lot of fish lack them down there. In the deepest parts, fish will also... one second. If I were to create that guy, I would have done something like that. But if we're trying to actually recreate what this dude looks like... it's not thick enough. You have to do like a... Well, let me keep looking. So yeah, deepest animals survive in the high pressure just because they have no swim bladders and their bodies are adapted to it more. That's all there really is. And Blue Man, can you please stop messing around? If you're here, please ask some serious questions. I don't care, I just wish that you could, because that would make things better for everyone in the stream. 1 second. Ferrets. I like minks more. Actually, like martins better. This is a difficult one to recreate. I might actually start with the details first. Alright, there's that. And then... Okay. Deep Sea Demon, scrapped boss that nobody really got to see anything of. There's his... If you go anywhere in the world, where would you go? I would go to the, I would go to the deep sea. It's pretty obvious, man. I love the deep sea. I would need the equipment, however. And if regardless of the equipment, I'd go there. If I had to have the equipment, I would go into those really deep caves with the bioluminescent glowworms. Those places are always fascinating. It's kind of like living in a wonderland. Also, the blue man, I had to time you out. You're just spamming the same message over and over. And I get that you're trying to be funny, but nobody's laughing. One second. I need to answer some questions through Discord. But yeah. Oh, the fish I'm drawing, I made it up. It was supposed to be a boss for the game back in the day. It's just, I called it the Sea Devil or something like that. Even though there's already a fish called the Sea Devil. I don't know what the thought process behind it was. But it was supposed to be one of the early game bosses. And then the game, we didn't need bosses anymore. So it was inevitably scrapped. I like the way this head is coming out. It's kind of like a Metaposaurus. Yeah, that's what I do. I would have given it like this type of head. And then we have to give it the horns and all that, which I will do soon. How much money? Oh, the devs. It all depends. Yeah, it's all right now, it's all volunteer work. When the game comes out, they'll make their money. It depends on how much they actually put into the game. Like, Neon will be making, like, 80% of the money he got off his soundtracks. Like, if he'll be fully over the OST, people who buy the OST, he'll be making tons of money from it. If the game does well, it's going to be a huge boost in all of our careers. And that's really what it is. It's really kind of a bet. You can put in the work, and if you're just doing it for the money, then it's most likely not going to work out because, you know, this game isn't made to make money. So just keep that in mind if you're ever considering joining. I'm not going to be paying you up front. It's a gamble for whether you want to be whether you want to take the chance or not. Big fin squid 100% of the way. No giant squid. Look at that. Look at that weird tail. Oh, look at that. It's like a weird. There we are. Yeah, this dude's really funny. You guys shouldn't see him anymore. Can you stop spamming emotes? Please. Or I'm gonna have to ban you. Okay, you've been unhidden. Okay. Why does it always go to shit? What do people like about this? Does it... It's very funny, guys. Who invited them to the stream? Because those two people, I think, were probably knew each other. I mean, they had the same damn message. I'm gonna unhide them just in case they want to do something. But if I see another dumb spam message, they're getting reported. Okay, this is transferring well. Now I just need to decrease this and start adding teeth. Coolest blueprint upgrade. There are a lot of options. One of my favorites, out of all 250, is the Greenland shark upgrade, which decreases your speed a lot, but increases your defense and attack by a ton. And it's so cool because it even has its own unique, like your sub looks different when you do it. So it's a cool addition in that way. In regards to like unique stuff, the rose shrimp, I think it's called, has one where it like, basically when you die you lose your items, but with this upgrade you don't lose your items. Your items float inside little shrimp eggs and will not despawn. But once you pick them up, you have to wait for the shrimp eggs to hatch to get your items back. So you can actually speed up the process by sitting near hydrothermal vents. I thought that idea was pretty cool. So yeah, this dude's teeth are pretty insane. So that's how I would do that. iPhone. I wish I would usually do Android, but it's just they're way easier to hack and jailbreak and all that, and I don't really care about that, and I don't want my phone at risk. Really cool in my daily life. The ability to like, let me think. Okay. A second. Okay, I do not own a nightlight. There's one in the restroom, I think. I'm not sure. He does need braces. The dude's teeth are going insane. If I had the ability to be cool in my daily life, I think it would be just the goblin shark's like reach ability, where it has its teeth and it can just like shoot them out and grab stuff. That'd be fun, just to launch my mouth across the table to pick something up. That's a deep sea fish ability I'd like to have. I'm actually going to give this thing a fin. A diver actually, or a cookie cutter shark actually. I could like, actually that'd be pretty disturbing. I'd have like this big row of lower teeth, and I could bite people, and I could just go limp, and they couldn't be able to remove me. And if they were able to remove me, a huge chunk of their flesh would come off. I think that could be useful. Oh, yes, I am drawing with a mouse, hence why it's a little shaky. That's why I'm using this tool right here, where it kinda shows me where I'm going before I do it. It's just better with mouse, in my opinion. So let's begin coloring the eye. Now, a really deep red. Oh, there we are. And then so there's the eye. Now it's more alive than that just red one. Now let's grab that red and dump it in here. And just drag it. And there we are. Now, next thing we gotta do is add, like, this. We need to do his body color. He has a very gray. Is that the color? Oh, no, that's, wait. Also, where's, like, the hole? I need to know. But yeah, okay, there's a hole, apparently, in this. Oh, is it there? That should be better now. Yeah. Is that the color? I think a little lighter is what we need. Oh, which one is the real? I have no idea. I think when I originally made it, this was supposed to be, but I made it so big that I think this is now. This one right here. This is kind of a pattern. Or like a huge gill slit or something weird. I have no idea. There we are. Now let's make that lighter. Hobbies. Learning about the deep sea. I'm trying to memorize all the nautical flags. I like playing games just for fun with friends. Hobbies, of course, learning about nature and animals and the deep sea. What you'd expect. And game making, of course. We have a very bright blue there. I'm trying to dull that down. And we're also going to dump pitch black out here. Okay then. That's not good. Oh, and also drawing, of course. I'm way better traditionally. I'm trying to get into digital. The weather? How you'd expect. We had some hail recently, which was really weird because it's not that cold anymore. But we get hail randomly now, and it's a little confusing. Wasn't that big of hail. No damage. Quarantine's been going fine. Thanks for asking. I'm doing pretty well. Now this is where the fun begins. Now that we have this basic, we have to go in and start shading. This is how I do shading on this. So let's suggest that light is coming from these. We're going to want to keep the dark areas away from the light. I mean, darken all of this. Keep the light contained. Darken down there. I'm going to decrease the size in a second. Well, they're gone. It's because they think they're funny. It's not that cool. I ain't laughing. Oh, there we are. Okay, now let's darken that. Music genre, in 1 second. Music genre, just, I do not like rap, I do not like a lot of that type of stuff. I just like violin, pretty much. I just like the nice. I like sea shanties. That might not be a surprise, since you know I like most things with the ocean. But I just like work tunes, catchy, nice. One second. Alright, okay. Cool facts. Basically, the game, there's going to be game modes, and one of those is going to be turmoil mode. And basically, there's going to be 5 new fish. I'm actually going to tell you the 5th one now. Only the people in the stream will know about this. I'm not going to tell anyone else until till the game's released what the 5th fish is. So, the 5th fish is the false cat shark. And there's 5 unique fish in turmoil mode. That's the 5th one. There are a few others. I forget what they are. You can probably find them. And the false cat shark is a really good upgrade. So that's a cool fun fact about the game. You're the only person who's going to know that. The people who are in this until the thing's out. So please don't tell anyone, and keep that knowledge to yourself as a cool fact. The little snippet you know about the game. In turmoil mode, all fish are going to have a larger chance of being aggressive. So far, we've definitely increased in quality, but there's still a lot more we have to do. And the number one thing we have to do right now is actually add lighting effects. Let's darken it so it looks like the eye is a little farther in. One second. But yeah, so earlier versions. Okay, here's where the good stuff is. Originally, there was the almanac was going to be a failed experiment. This is insane. I'm going to tell you that. This is stuff you would have never known. This is crazy, outlandish, all in an attempt to make sense. Because the almanac was actually created before we had any idea what the story was. I made him for fun because I had pressure put on my back to quickly create what the game was. So I was like, okay, so I need to plan out who the main characters are, what's going on. Of course, it's a sea game, we need some Leviathan. How about a big creature called the Almanac? Why is it called the Almanac? No idea. I just chose a random name because it sounded cool and sounded mysterious. So, now that I caught you up on what the Almanac is, so this was the story. Almanac failed experiment of a Dunkleosteus somebody found in the ice of Antarctica. The Dunkleosteus is a cloned and failed experiment. That was one idea. Next is that the Almanac hates people because it was like mistreated by them or some shit. I have no idea. Other idea was that the Almanac was like an amalgamation of souls, I think. He was called the Almanac because like how a book has like an almanac has info in it. He stored souls in him or something. Like the souls were like code almost. And some shit like that, I don't know. He was crazy. And he was like the final boss for a while. And the idea, we just kept expanding it. There was eventually a point where we like 2 people went into the deep sea and died, and then their souls created the Almanac because they something like that. And all of the, or like the one with the souls thing, like all of the white chunks on them are actually soul matter, something like that. And then it hit me that I wasn't making this game for other people, so I just scrapped everything and made the game what I wanted to make the game. So that's why we actually have a decent game now, and not like a throwaway, quick, cash grab ocean game that it was at one point. We had like a voice actor for the Almanac for a trailer, and it was like the shittiest voice actor, but they were cheap, so I hired him. And there was a whole thing at one point where I designed the Almanac because I was trying to draw Cthulhu. He was going to be the big bad, and I accidentally dropped the, this is what happened. I was creating a thing of Cthulhu, so I was giving him the head. Where's it now? Oh yeah, I was giving him the head and tentacles and all that. But while I was working on the head, I gave him the siphon and drew the eye, and then I accidentally dumped the paint bucket tool on it and of white, and it created a head shape, making the siphon the eye, and it looked like a really, really cool looking sea monster. So I started taking creative liberties and drawing chisels into it and all that. And Cthulhu created just another deep sea dragon. The original, we actually created the Almanac without his white chunks on him, and he was just a purple version of himself because I didn't have any ideas of how anything else could fit inside. And we eventually got to the point of I think he had 8 huge caterpillar arms or centipede arms or something like that, and he crawled around on the walls of caves and shit like that. It was insane. But I remember I put a lot of time into his like what was underneath, like all the attention to detail. And he had these big teeth, and he had these veins running down his body. It was very, very weird. So that was the idea for what the almanac was back then. That was early, really early in. There was also another part where we were like, okay, so we need bosses in this game. What are we going to do? And my idea was, we have a boss for each representation of what the deep sea is and how evil and all that. So, one idea was, each boss represents something scary about the deep sea. So, one was the fear of the unknown, one was the fear of drowning, like something like that. I remember, like, fear of drowning was like the... What was it? Do you remember Shrimp? You were there for that. It was a pirate ship, I think. I forget what it was called. Oh, the Flying Dutchman. That's what it was. It was the Flying Dutchman. But yeah, Flying Dutchman was that, and there'd be like a sea shanty music with like dying sailors, and it would be like really sketchy. And then there would be another one for the Fear of the Unknown, which was like a leviathan that you couldn't see. And it would be just out of view, and you'd see it kind of show up. And speaking of that, there was actually another one. Oh, there's so much that went on behind the scenes throughout this year. And then there was another one. This is crazy to think back on. That was the Ninja, and it was like this humanoid that would float in the water, and you could see it very rarely on like a camera. And there was actually a camera in the original idea that you'd have on the top of your sub, kind of like a telescope light that they have in like cartoony drawings of submarines. And you could look through it, and it would show you like a first-person view. And I wanted to add that just as fun, but then I realized it'd be better just not to focus on the submarine itself. But back when we did, the idea is that you would look through, and you'd seen like this demon thing. I remember teasing a lot of it, but there was actually just nothing important. The stream's going for an hour 40 minutes, so that's really good. Okay, so that was really crazy how much changed. There was on the old server we had even more crazy ideas. So Almanac had his voice lines were all really edgy, like a Roblox video, that edgy type, you know what I mean? Like, he'd say something really, really edgy, like, I'll kill you twice, or some shit like that. It was a really weird time. We were just testing out what we could do with this game. There was an original test demo of NiteLite I made back in the first month of its creation. The newest version only came out last month, but first month, we had one that was, I never released it to the devs, and basically, there's still a video of it on the channel, I think. I had a very different voice back then. I was like a little kid, and I placed down, and I had a very bad mic and all that, and there was, 1 second, be right back. Rosie! Okay, I'm back. But yeah, basically, oh, that's my dog. When my dog is alone, it yells. Yeah, Rosie. Rosie's our dog. And it makes really, really loud noises randomly. Because it like... I think it has dementia or something, and it forgets where it is and yells. Yeah. So that's that. The Almanac, voice lines and all that. There's actually an original trailer that I deleted from the channel, and the original trailer was literally just a few scenes, and it was like a few 5-frame gifs of the Almanac, and that's all it was. And people, it was just ignored, which was good. I deleted it, We were planning on making a second trailer, which was pixel art before the game changed completely what it was. And in this trailer, we also didn't know what we were doing. It was just like, I think there was a zombie head as one of the things in the trailer, or like a hallucinogenic fish you could eat, something crazy. Yeah, the fish on the screen is crazy looking. This dude. Here's his original. Here's the remake. But yeah, I'll just screenshot it just in case. Let's move on to the next one. You guys are seeing some never before seen screenshots from the game. But yeah, a lot went down in the past with what NiteLite was. Do you guys have any other questions? Because I could go on for hours on what NiteLite had and didn't have back then. There was so much history of what the game used to be. Like, there was an old server that Subject overtook after it was raided on my birthday. Like, you don't even... There was a lot. I'll tell you that. And, not many people remember it. Oh yeah, the no server because it was overtaken and like ripped apart by Subject. And then I deleted it because I was just done. Because it was a passion project and I just didn't want to do it. And my friends didn't believe that I could do it. So there was a lot of pressure back then. Them telling me that there was no way I could do this project. And it really affected development. Shrimp was like one of the third people that ever made it to the server. And he was the most active person. By far. He always showed interest in the game, interest in all that, and after knowing him for a while, he became admin, and then even longer. He was the most active out of any admin. I upgraded him to general admin because, you know, he's the most active, he's the best of them. So that's why that's how he got to general admin. So yeah, right now I'm looking through the fish that we can make sprites of. Yes, I remember who you are. I forget what your name was, but I do remember you because you won the contest and all that. Yeah, I do remember you. Isn't your username just Puppet or something like that? Because you just haven't said anything on the server in so long. But I was surprised that you joined. So I've seen you in YouTube comment sections before, though. Which... That's how I was reminded of you recently. I just found you in a YouTube comment section with, like, top comment. I don't even remember what video it was. I just know that I saw you once. Let's try the hatchet fish. It had a very different sprite than what you'd expect. Here we go. I don't remember what video. I probably couldn't if I was, like, given the clues. I do look at videos where a dude sounds like he smokes as a teen, though. That's just Tom Waits. Okay, I'm not going to draw these fish like they're supposed to look. I'm going to draw them as I drew them. So this isn't going to look like a hatchet fish. This is going to look like how how they were drawn. See what I mean? Like, that's no hatchet fish right there. But I drew it like that. So I'm going to have to create that. I'm going to end the stream soon. Depends on what you guys think. Ask any questions you want to ask now. Look at that mouth. I made it much bigger, just because. Yeah, the pixel art's bad. It's strange. But, that was an early time in development, and we've grown a lot since then. As you can see, these gills take up half the thing's body. If it weren't for these bad pixel arts, we probably wouldn't be anywhere. The pixel art, I'm very conflicted over it. It's bad art compared to what we can do now. And it would have looked ugly as hell in the game. There was no consistency. But if you do like it, I can understand why. It's very different. Yeah, look at that thing. He looks like a cartoon character. Then he had, like, on his stomach flap his fin. And, like, as you can see, there's a big difference between how these things turned out. But yeah, like, ask anything you want right now. I'm going to end the stream soon at like 7:30, maybe 7. So ask what you want to ask. We don't have much time left for this stream. And it's going to be another year until we hit the, you know, it's going to be a while before we do it, another year. There's only one single pixel art in the entire game that I'm proud of. And I'm going to drag him in. Also, the Almanac got a complete redesign. I did bring him back in a recent concept art thing. Do you guys remember seeing that? It was in the new promo art. Do you? Oh, I do not use VR. I do have a little VR for my phone, but I'm planning on getting a big VR. But yeah, do any of you guys remember the promo as the new active? Okay, Almanac is not going to be in the game, but he represents the community. So, I added him to a new promo art just to show you guys an idea of if he was ever in the game, what he could look like. So here we go. See him? He's a little difficult to see, but he has these vines, these kelp, and he's very rocky. He has this little white eye, and instead of having just pitch black lines through him, he has like dents, and some areas he does have broken areas, but it's mostly he's this huge rocky monster. Yeah. So the almanac, he is, and then this was really fun to do, where you make it look like it's glowing, and then you put effects. See, this is one of my favorite art to make of the almanac, or anything with him. Let me get my favorite art piece from the game. The game was very different when it started. Let me pull up the old art of the almanac. Where is it? There's something important that this game used to have. Hello, Zach. The stream's about to end. Where is it? And I think the final thing we should do before we go is remake the first sprite that was ever made for NiteLite, and then the stream will end. So ask questions now if you have any left. See it? It was a weapon. Of all things for there to be the first stuff. And it was a little dumb idea, and if we are going to recreate it, we might as well try to create it the best we can. It was called the Wishbone, and it was the first thing I ever made. And I wanted to do pixel art, so let's make the background pitch black. And recreate, so it had like a... And I like that people still like the almanac. He was a fun idea while he was around, and you know how he is. I like this design really simplistic. Cringe about the old version of the game. I wouldn't call it cringe. I think it was all part of making the game grow. I think the most cringe thing was the voice lines and the really edgy stuff that I planned just as ideas. But those are all part of making a game grow. I wouldn't have them gone. I think they played an important role in watching the game be created, us knowing the limits of what people thought was okay and what people didn't like. If there's any, I think, yeah, I can't really answer that question. Sorry. Because there really are no regrets in this whole game, and usually things that are cringe I would normally regret. But no, I think it was all for a good cause. Cool Easter eggs in NiteLite. No. The only thing I can think of is the fact that I will be allowing players to, like, the developers to put in their own little Easter eggs. I will not be leaving any of my own, but some people will be able to add their own. I believe that, yeah, people will be able to add their own Easter eggs if you've won competitions before. if I'm a dude named Plant11. And he has a little Easter egg in the game. It's all things that there's the wishbone. I just need to add these little Beth, or whoever you want to be called. I'm just going to call you Fishing Overlord. You will not be getting an Easter egg because you weren't here when the Easter egg thing happened. Will be the way to get an Easter egg. You'll need to be here at least half the time of creating the game. Or no, okay, you'll need to be on the team when the game launches to get your Easter egg. To start adding the Easter eggs, you'll need to be on the team when the game launches. So, sorry about that, but anyone who's made in the game, when we did that, we'll be getting an Easter egg. So there we are. The wishbone, if it was in the game today, it would look something like this. And the reason behind this is, as you can see, this looks like a water droplet. And then these are bird heads drinking the droplet. I think that is kind of like... I like that idea. Like it's, I am going to do more art comps for Easter eggs. But I want people to participate in the current one if I'm going to make any more. If this new one fails, which it's most likely going to, there won't be any more comps. At least that I foresee. Yeah, many people don't want to make stuff. This weapon was supposed to cast like a little electricity. I had no idea how this was even going to work. You can't like stick your hand into a submarine. But basically you would be able to like shoot this little electric bolt. And after you shot it once, every time you used it, a new one would shoot out from there. Until all of these were shooting. And then after you used it all the times, all these had filled up, this would like stream out and there'd be constant streams of these. And it would be like an end game weapon. So yeah, that's all I can really say about the wishbone. I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all for joining, and if you want to see another, I'm going to do some more things later because of the anniversary. So, thank you for joining in, and see you later.